Welcome to the newest and latest and first episode in May of Earthtones Live, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's right. Earthtones, 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 Earthtones. That's what I'm saying. Earthtones, Earthtones, Earthtones. Woo! I'm so excited to be here. It has been one long day for me. And, you know, when you have a long day, you want to cap it off at the end of the day by sitting here and acting silly and getting online with all of y'all and playing some guitars and talking about some recording stuff. So first off, if you're on our YouTube channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. If you are on our social media channels, just follow us, like us, do all that kind of stuff you got to do to get notifications. We should be coming to you now on my personal Facebook page. I think we're maybe on Twitter. I don't know if we're on Instagram tonight. I can't remember which one we actually did. Are we on Instagram tonight? No. Nope. Just on the Twitters and the Facebooks and the YouTubes. So we are actually like I said on the backside of a long old day and had been here in a couple weeks and just wanted to drop in tonight. I'm so sorry that I didn't notify everybody this morning early with a post like I normally do while I'm having my coffee. I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday. I should post the little picture of the stuff I have saved on my phone that says tonight. Because if I posted tonight yesterday, that wouldn't make any sense because they'd tune in last night and then I, wouldn't have anybody. We wouldn't have anybody watching. True. Hey, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Gale. All right. Good evening, Samuel. How are you, man? I just wanted to say that we will be playing a couple of guitar pedals tonight, and we'll be taking any sorts of questions. You guys jump into the chat and let me know what has been happening with you. I had all sorts of sessions that I can't even begin, but I'm going to have to begin. I started last week with a phenomenal rehearsal from the one and only Mr. Eric Gales, ladies and gentlemen. And that was awesome. And Eric was in E.G. Oh, come on, man. You can let him go, right? Hold on, give him a golf clap at least. Right? Yeah. That's right. So we had EG in and started learning to play the bass. All right.
All right.
I like it. So we had AG in beginning of last week. Today is what? Wednesday? Yep. A week ago, Monday, and they were headed out to they did 2 nights of rehearsal. And then headed out to the New Orleans Jazz Festival, which if you know your festivals and you know your music and your live music, you know that that's a biggie. I know that they got that gig last year after playing some massive festival in Rotterdam that when they came back, it wasn't but a week or two. And Eric was like, dude, we got the New Orleans Jazz Festival because of this Rotterdam thing we just did the seas of people. It's like a sea of people that they play for, which is crazy. So anyway, New Orleans Jazz Fest was really cool. Yeah, your twin brother. That's right. But yeah, man. So it was it was good. And their rehearsals are always so cool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the actual stream here. So because when some of you comment, I have never mind. I'm not making any sense. I know. I'm going fast. And I'm going faster. Hey, that's Wayne Jarrett. Hey, Wayne, how are you, man? So, anyway, Okay, I found it. He's just gonna run me down the whole song. Yeah, how long is the whole Jeopardy theme? Do we know how many seconds they actually get to answer Final Jeopardy? Is it 30 seconds?
I feel like it's 30.
I feel like it's got to be 30. The best TV theme pieces of music ever written. Anyway, where was I going here? I was going somewhere.
Eric.
Oh, yeah. Gales was in. They rehearsed. Then they went down to New Orleans and just completely crushed it for the Jazz Festival. I think they have another run picking up sometime maybe next week or something like that. Anyway, kind of started my week like that. And then I ran over to, let's see what we did after that. I had a great band called Good Rockin' Sam. I don't know if you guys, any of my Piedmont Blues people, know Good Rockin' Sam. They were in here with the lovely Nisha DeMaio, and she was doing backing vocals for their record, which they did all the initial tracks here. And then I think they took some of them to another studio, and they did B3 and horns and some other stuff there. That's one of those things where you'll be a piece of the puzzle. You know, like I've talked about before when you're recording. It's okay. In the olden days, when I first started out, if people didn't do their whole record with me, if they recorded part of their record with me and then they wanted to take it somewhere else, it wasn't as easy as it is now to do like file transfer and to do correspondence kind of records. But the way it was back then is you actually had to get, the tapes. You had to ask someone for the files, and people took it. Engineers would take it. We'd kind of take it a little personal when people would take our recordings and they go somewhere else to finish them, as if it wasn't good enough. But now we do that all the time. I'm always a piece of the puzzle multiple times a week, and I'm just happy and honored and proud to be a piece of anybody's puzzle. Which is the way I should have looked at it back then when I was younger. But I was cocky. I had a little bit of fire in my attitude. I got a little bit of fire in it now, just a little less of a raging flame of a fire, and then just maybe, every now and then kind of like a little campfire, I'll get all wound up about stuff like that. But anyway, so they had done their initial tracks here, took it to another studio, and then came back in here to do backing vocals. We may mix it here, may not. I'm not really sure. Anyway. So the next day, Seth Williams, who started out in the band Whiskey Foxtrot, actually started out himself, but he's actually in the band was in the band Whiskey Foxtrot, and those guys kind of split off into their own factions, and they do a couple of different solo acts now. Had Seth in here doing a brand new tune called "The Reaper." I mean, think about that, right? You get Whiskey Foxtrot that's got that kind of blackberry smoke, kind of southern guitar-y, kind of twangy, not twangy thing, but kind of that heavy kind of thing. And Seth is playing baritone guitar strictly now almost on stuff. So it's tuned low B to high B. So it's a whole fifth down from a regular guitar, and it's pretty low. And so anyway, Seth was in here recording a new song called The Reaper, which sounds like, I can't even, I have it. Go to my Instagram, which is at Benji Tunes, BenJyTunes. And check out. I had I think I did a reel yesterday or today. I don't know what constitutes a reel and what constitutes a video and what constitutes a post. It's the length of the video, but I barely even have time to post any of the stuff, which is why I really do the show, is to catch everybody up. You can just go to one place. You can go right here and see it all, and I can tell you everything. And I don't have to, post every day because I just don't have time, man. And I'll get into time today and why you don't have a lot of time doing stuff like that. But anyway, so Seth came in, he and Brad Cardeal, and the drummer, he's gonna kill me, man, because I'm not. Oh, Lordy Jesus, how many times how many times do I know Mitch? Oh, Mitch Hull. Mitch Hull plays with Soften the Glare. Drummer came in and tracked drums on it with my blue Ludwig Vistalites. They sounded killer. Live three-piece. We didn't go back, and I think we might have punched a couple of bass notes, maybe done a couple flicks. They cut to a click. We did a tempo map with the click, which is really cool. I need a demo track record, not me yet, but for up and coming garage band, I know. What's that typically, and what's new in sharing it in my day? It was tapes and CDs. Yeah. So I can, if you visit earthtonesrecording.com, I know, how can I forget Mitch? I'm so sorry, man. I just, my brain, I will explain to you why my brain be scrambled. Hey, Roger Coors, how are you, man? I'm going to send you those demo tracks, I swear to you, this week. I just have to get them together and send them to you. Speaking of correspondence recording, I have a client that wants my good buddy Roger Coors, who is in the Sonic Prophets with me, incredible bass player, and we have Roger does bass tracking at home in Cincinnati, and so what I'll do is I'll make him a rough mix, make a couple of rough mixes, right? If I'm going to send something, there's a lot of things you have to do. A lot of things you have to do in the detail department if you're going to send tracks to somebody. Like when I get tracks, a lot of times I'm left deciphering what the BPM is. You know, somebody didn't take good notes or anything like that, and I'll just get this track, and then, you know, like, good luck, kid, you know. And so I have to decipher what the BPM is. I have to ask all the right questions for anybody that will send it. It's funny, Eric and I work on a lot of correspondence stuff he plays guitar solos on, and he knows my sort of almost my question list now. You know, like, I want to know what the sample rate they want to have it back at. They want it cut at 24-bit, I hope. What's the BPM? What's the file type they prefer it back in? And most of the time now he will ask those questions for me ahead of time because we've done it so many times. So you have to know those things, and you have to be organized on both ends if you're going to send tracks to somebody or you're going to get tracks from somebody. Anyway, so Roger, I will be sending him some bass tracks and all that stuff. But so we did Seth's song "The Reaper," which is really killer. And then what did I do? Oh, I had a really interesting session on Sunday, and it was a podcast that we taped and I still say tape, even though we don't physically use tape. But I recorded a podcast, audio podcast, and we did a video element too. We did a 3-camera shoot of it so it can go on Patreon, possibly YouTube. And it was for a club called the Gate City Gamers. And it was really cool because they do role-playing games, RPGs. And we had a big like 6x6, might have been bigger than 6x6 table. I think it was 6x6. Then we ended up setting up 2 tables. They basically gamed sort of like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, but a different game topology. And they're going to do it as a podcast where they're playing the game. So you can actually hear them as you listen to the podcast, make their moves. You can actually hear them, roll their dice. You can actually hear them explain their characters, where the characters all came from. So that was really cool. We did I think it was 6 microphones, 6 people. On that was really, really cool. And so the video element, was cool because when you're listening to a podcast and all you're hearing is the audio, it's just like it's the first time when you were a kid that you ever saw a radio DJ. Do you guys remember that? Like, you listen to them over and over and over again, and you think they look one way. They're like a caricature in your head because you only heard them, you've never seen them. And then you see them locally, or you meet them somehow, or something happens, and they don't ever look exactly the way they sound. So if you get a video element to a podcast, it's really cool. It's really cool because you get to see the people that you're listening to that are telling you, all about all the stuff that they're doing. And you listen to 2 or 3 episodes, and then they'll tell you, oh, by the way, it's on our YouTube channel, which is here, or it's on our Patreon, and you see them, and you're kind of like, wow, I had a completely different picture, but now I know what that person looks like, which is kind of cool. So that was cool. That one will be. I don't think that comes out until October. They're gonna start airing that one, and that was great. I finished up an audiobook recording on Monday. I had Mr. Bryson Cavanis in we finished up some touch-ups on some production of his record, which is going to be really great. And then Seth Williams came in Monday night. to record the vocals and some extra guitars to this Reaper song that he's got. And we sort of went through a bunch of different pedals, played through a few pedals, and played into my Universal Audio aux here, and used my yes for Universal Audio, yes for the aux, and used my I think we used my Bogner on that stuff, which was really cool, and it sounded amazing. And that song, it's so heavy. It's like if you took Black Sabbath and Corrosion of Conformity and Blackberry Smoke and put it all together, or Leonard Skinner and put it all together. Really, really cool, super heavy stuff. And then last night, I was honored to have my little buddy, Mr. Caleb Serrano, in here to record some vocals for some new songs that he is actually doing. And we had tracked the initial tracks a couple of weeks ago, and then we're gonna do his vocals, and then we're gonna send them off to someone else to actually produce and mix. And so that's cool. That's one of those correspondence things. I track it here, I send it off, somebody else does it, I get it all back and go like, hey, that's great. It sounds awesome. And so, and then today is Wednesday the 10th, and that leads me to today. So my first session today, you'll get a kick out of. This is great. This is funny. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a show. There's a reality TV show on TLC called My Big Fat Fabulous Life. And although it could easily be about me nowadays, although I don't know how big I am, I know I'm getting kind of fat. And, I feel kind of fabulous some days. FYI, you really got the best sounding live show on Facebook. Hey, thank you. I play stuff on the big speakers. It's like you're in the next room. Super clear sound. Awesome. Thank you. We appreciate that. Especially from you, Sam. Thank you, man. So where was I? Oh, so Big Fat Fabulous Life is a reality show on TLC. And I got the call probably last week or week before. And I also do what's called home studio consulting or studio consulting. If people call me and say, hey, we bought some gear and we don't know how to hook it up. I started doing this through Guitar Center years ago because people would buy, those guys at Guitar Center that sell you the gear, they get paid to sell you the gear. They don't get paid to answer your questions about the gear, which is unfortunate. A lot of companies will, and I'm not calling anybody out or saying anybody's better or not any better at customer service, but they don't really get paid to do customer service. If you buy a recording interface or say one of these machine things and you take it home and you unbox it and you're like, man, this is a great deal. I watched all the ads and all the videos and it looks like I can do that. And then you don't even know how to take it out of the box and plug it in. Then they would drop a card in your bag and they would call me and I would go to your house and I would help you, hook stuff up. And I still do that sometimes. So a company called Podcast Nation got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago, about a client that they wanted me to help set up a podcast rig. And they sent me this whole list of stuff that they had bought, and everything. And most of the time when third-party companies contact you and they have what's called a client, that means that it's someone that's a little higher up, that has a third-party company calling for them as opposed to just the person calling you. So I always kind of wonder, I'm like, I wonder who this is for. So I went to the address that was supplied to me, and it was Whitney Thor, and she is the star of a show called My Big Fat Fabulous Life. It is on TLC, and it is going into, she told me today, its 11th season coming up, and I was just like, wow, I had no idea. I've heard of the show, but I'm not a reality TV person. I really don't watch reality TV. I think Survivor was the only reality TV show maybe I ever watched. I don't know. Anyway, so went over there and did a home studio consult for them for they're doing a new podcast that's outside of the TV show, They're going to have a YouTube version of it with 3 cameras, kind of like we do here, and an audio version of it. And so they had bought all this gear, and a lot of the gear, most of the time when people buy it, if I don't operate it on a daily basis in my place, then I don't really know. I have to you have to really get it on really fast. You got to get the manual. You got to hope it came with a manual. Then you got to, if it doesn't, you got to Google the manual and pull it up, and you kind of got to figure out how to run gear that you're not used to running. So that's what I did a couple of weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And there's always a few pieces missing, a few cables or something. And so they had bought cameras that didn't necessarily state that they didn't come with lenses, but they didn't come with lenses. So they had cameras, but no lenses. Kind of doesn't work that way. So we ordered all the lenses. We got all the extra stuff. They reached out to me this past week and said, we'd like to book you again this week. I was like, great. And I'm thinking I'm coming over to get the second batch of stuff, and I'm going to put it all back together. And I walked in the door, and Whitney's assistant, who is just great, she says to me, well, it's about 10 after 10. Whitney's in hair and makeup. We're going to start shooting at about 11 a.m. And I was like, I was sitting there looking like, you mean shooting like the show that I'm putting this equipment together for? And lo and behold, I had been called to shoot and was not informed that I knew about that we were going to be doing that today. So you know what you do when that happens, kids? You suck it up, Buttercup, and you get the manuals out and you learn how to hook it all up in 45 minutes. And probably within 45 minutes to an hour from then, we were getting angles and shooting. And I had teched out a couple of pieces of the gear a few weeks before, and it was cool. So it was I kind of had to do like a quick refresher on learning how to do it, because I was kind of put in the hot seat. It was like, okay, it's do or die, sink or swim. So we set it all up, and we shot the first episode of her new podcast, which is going to be called Single, Fat, and Crazy. And I was like, wow, that's almost the title of my podcast, except I'm not single. Thank the Lord and baby Jesus. So it was great. They did it, and then what we do is we take all that stuff and we send it to their editors, and their editors put it all together, and then it ends up magically looking like, it looks killer. And then I go like, hey, I'm going to watch an episode of this thing that I shot, and I had no idea I was going to be shooting it. Anyway, and the funniest part about I haven't even told you this yet. The funniest part about the whole thing is that she says to me as we're shooting today, I'm sorry, my glasses are kind of gunky. And my glasses are so goofy looking. I bought these glasses because they were the 3.0 or 3.25 or whatever, that I could see stuff really close up. They make me feel like I'm in a fishbowl when I have them on if I'm looking far away. But I bought them, and they were the only 3.0s in the store. And they look like, I don't even know what they look like. They're shaped like Harry Potter glasses. That's what I call them. And they got this weird, I don't even know what it is. It looks like it's made out of stone or something. They're almost like white glasses, which is kind of weird. I'm not really into the shape of them, but they happen to be what I walked out of the house with this morning, so there you go. All right, so so we did that today. That was awesome, and we'll be doing a couple of episodes every...
You never said the funniest part.
Oh, the funniest part. I'm sorry. The funniest part. Thank you. That's why. Machine. And it's back. The funniest part was that she says, so my engineer Benji, and she's in the middle of this, and in the middle of taping this thing, talking to the people, all the people. And she says, my engineer Benji, and she stops and says, can I call you Bengineer? And I was like, by all means, yes, you can. So for the rest of the show, she referred to me as Bengineer, and I thought that was hilarious. I don't know why, because I'd never thought of it, nor would I have a reason to think of it, and I thought that was hilarious. So I said, okay, Whitney, from now on, I thoroughly expect to be called Bengineer. So there you go. Hey, John Dawson, what's going on, buddy? We finished up, but I'll tell you, so also this past week, I missed my Sunday. Let's go back to my Sunday. No, not my Sunday. Dang it. My Sunday? No, it wasn't my Sunday. What day was it, John? What day was it? God, dog, what day was it, John? I can't even. I know. Do it. Do it.
What if it worked?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we lost all machine. Uh-oh.
Oh, I like that every time we hit it, you can hear it in the mics. You go,
Lost machine. Hey, that's all right.
hold on.
We don't need the sounds. Yeah, just unplug it. It's just like every other piece of equipment. If it gives you a fit, just unplug it.
It'll work.
Hold on.
Hold on.
All right. So, anyway, John Dawson. We did some touch-up mixes, and we finished the third of Never record, and it is officially mixed and will be coming out as soon as I can get Mr. Ty Tabor to master it. It will be coming out soon hopefully on vinyl and on CD and on streaming and a bunch of different ways that you can actually consume the music. And we did another really cool project with John that's like this 50-minute crazy kind of record that has it's a Korg. Is it a Korg K-oscillator?
Oh.
Or is it a Roland K-oscillator? It's Korg, isn't it? So it's a K-oscillator record. We just call it a K-oscillator record because K-oscillators make all sorts of crazy, they make all sorts of crazy sounds. And they're really cool. They have a pad. They used to have a thing called a Chaos pad, and it looked like one of those big track pads, except you put your finger on it and it would play like a, and you move your finger somewhere else and it would make a chord.
Lights?
Yeah, it had lights and all that stuff on it. I should get one. But anyway, they did John.
We had the app on your old iPad.
Oh, yeah, we did. I could probably download that app. That'd be cool. So, so John is making a record that's got K-oscillator, it's got drums, it's got all the stuff on it, and it moves in like pieces and movements. But it's one continuous 44-minute piece of music, and we whittled it down to having track markers in certain places, but it will run continuous. As you listen to it, it has no breaks in it. So on CD, if you were to skip to it, it would start at a certain point. But if you played the CD from beginning to end, that was a CD thing that was kind of cool. Yeah. Is you could roll through stuff, but like with a vinyl record, you could do that, but you would most of the time, unless it was silence and you could see the silence in the groove. Mm-hmm. Then you have to kind of like, we'd have to sight it out. DJs, MCs and DJs, yo, Adrian Foltz, my man. Yep, Korg K-oscillator. Hello, my sister, Linda Johnson. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your call today because, again, I just described everything that has happened to me today. Anyway, so I know I was off on a tangent. John Dawson, we finished up his two records for him in a week. Those records we've been working on for, I want to say, easily 7 years, and we started those drums in my old studio. So I mixed a record this past week, or for the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've mixed it, that has drum sounds that I recorded in a building that in a studio that doesn't exist anymore, which is kind of creepy to me, but kind of cool. And then I hear those drums, and I'm just like, my Lord, those drums sound good. We're good. I'm telling you, drums in that place sounded ridiculous. I don't know why, but all right. So what else? This afternoon I had Micah Dillon come in, and Micah Dillon is awesome. She is. I'm gonna get Abraham to share. I'm gonna see if he can find on YouTube, find one of Micah's songs that we produce. So Micah comes in, and she records piano and vocal songs, and she records piano and vocal songs, and then she will leave them. We record them to a click track. No, it's not. Just go down and see if you can find the songs.
Are these not the songs?
Are they? Maybe. Let me see which one would be the best one. Oh, yeah.
That one?
Rise is a good one. Yeah, okay. That's a good one. Abraham might have even played on that one.
That's true. I forgot about that.
So Abraham played on some of her songs, so we would come in and do. I think that's her stuff. So he will put a what says what? Who said what? Wazzo, my man. So anyway, so we did. So her Micah's record is essentially she comes in, she plays piano and sings to a click, and then I take something maybe like my machine and I take Pro Tools and I do what's called a hybrid session. And a hybrid session is essentially where I use samples, I use sequencers, I use real instruments, I play guitar, I'll have whatever, and we just make this whole big mishmash, big production song for the music part. And then she comes back in and sings the final vocals. And today she came in and we tweaked a little bit of an arrangement on something in final vocals right up until probably almost 6 o'clock. So I was really in session with her about an hour before we started. And then we were just like, and Aiden, I will say, Aiden's last day as an intern technically was on Monday. And he said he wanted to come back this week and help with the live stream. So he not only gets that, he gets golf claps, he gets double that. And he gets that. Yeah. He gets almost every sound in here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because Aiden gets the big assist. He gets the triple double with all assists. Because he showed up, man, and just kicked it in the behind tonight. And we all three knocked this thing out, but he walked in the door and just started setting up. He don't have to be here. He finished up on Monday. He could have said, "See you, Captain," and he didn't. And he came in, and I tell you what, you get a kid like that, call him a kid, because everybody's a kid compared to me, I feel like, nowadays. So if you're 35, I'll call you a kid. Aiden's not 35, but I still call him a kid. So you know, that's what gets you points, kids, is doing stuff like that. Yeah, wishing Aiden great travels. Thank you, Terry V. And man, I'm sorry I didn't let you know earlier about the show today, because I know that you would have brought me one of them yummy Big Sonic Expandora pedals that you got. And you know that once you bring it over here for me to try it, I'm gonna, I might accidentally lose it. I might say, like, I thought I had it in here, Terry. I don't know where it is. It might be in one of these drawers in here. And I already got it at home, using it on 10 tracks. Because, if it's in here and I'm using it on tracks, then you might find it. But if that happens, it's not intentional. It's a complete accident. So I'm just telling you ahead of time, if that happens, it's an accident. I didn't have anything to do with it, and I'm just going to blame it all on Aiden. Okay? Is that what I can do? It's all Aiden's fault. He came in 2 days later and then caused a massive Big Sonic Expandora shortage in the world. So, speaking of pedals, there was one more thing I was going to mention today, and I can't think of what it is. Randy Harris is watching. I'm so glad all you guys are watching. I miss y'all. I miss seeing y'all in person, because I'm in here working my tail off all the time, or other places working my tail off. I swear to God, I go home and eat at 11 o'clock, and I'm like, wait a minute. Can a man even run his own place and break for dinner time? And I really can't. So it's okay, though. I had a Chipotle salad at 11 o'clock last night. Makes me feel better that it was a salad, but 11 o'clock is still no walk in the park when it comes to eating dinner late. Speaking of that, what we're going to eat tonight, man?
I assume you don't want Chipotle again.
I don't want Chipotle. The only reason I get Chipotle, and I'll tell you guys, Chipotle stays open until 10 o'clock. Oh Lord, man, I'm sorry to see Janice had a wreck. No hurry on the pedal, man. Take care of real life and wives and families first, right? Anyway, so where was I?
Chipotle.
Oh, Chipotle. How can I forget Chipotle? I forgot Mitch Hull. I forgot Chipotle. Jeez, what is the world coming to? Chipotle stays up until 10 o'clock, and it is on my way home. Everything else closes besides fast food, so in the comments, drop it in. I want you to tell me straight up now. Randy Harris, you should get 10 shout outs, man. So Randy Harris, everybody, if you see him in the chat and you see him watching and commenting, Randy Harris runs the 13th Pygmy Productions. So I still have, you told me why the name one time, and I have no idea, but He does the 48-hour film festival. If you guys don't know about the 48-hour film festival, it's awesome. Basically, you get 48 hours to make a film. They tell you these things you have to do. You have to have a character name in it. You have to have a prop. So they make you put all these things in it so you can't have a pre-canned film, and it has to be I think 8 minutes is like the limit on it, maybe, or something like that. So you have to make an 8-minute film in 48 hours, and you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that gets done. It's unbelievable. So Abraham and I have been lucky enough through Randy to be able to do music for a lot of his films. And it's funny because there were categories for music, and I say categories because you win awards for these things. They have a 48-hour film festival viewing, and then everybody comes in, and then all the panels, I guess, or whoever votes on these films, and they give you, best film. They give you best comedy. They give you best actor, best actress, and all this stuff for the 48-hour film festival. And they have them in a lot of different cities around. They do it in Greensboro. And so it's cool. They give you all your particulars, I think, at 4 or 5 o'clock, or maybe even 6 o'clock on a Friday. They have a big party, right? Big get-together thing, and then they give out all of your particulars, your specs to make the film, and then you have until that time on Sunday to turn it in. And Abraham and I were lucky enough to do the music for quite a few of Randy's, and we have won, I don't know how many best original music, because we do the music to the film as opposed to, or to the idea of the film as opposed to just using canned music. That's one thing that people on the 48-hour film festival, they will skimp on if they don't have anyone musical in their crew to be able to do that. And you have to have a pretty big crew if you got 2 guys doing music during that 48 hours, and then you got 6 actors and actresses, and you got 3 cameramen. It takes a crazy crew. But anyway, big thanks to Randy. I should, 7 minutes. 7 minutes for the film, not 8. But anyway, so it's normally in June. If I'm not out of town this year, please tell me when it is, man, because I want to reclaim the throne. I don't think I won it last year because I don't think we did a movie last year. But anyway, so
what year was the most recent one?
It was right after pandemic. It had to be 2 years ago. It had to be 2021, right? Where they did it at Revolution Mill.
Yeah.
And we won Best Music. Kabang!
Oh yeah.
And it was great. And that song was so heavy.
Yep.
And it was really cool. That was a cool one. That was heavy guitars. That was really heavy guitars. I used a fuzz pedal on them, I think. And you did something. You played bass. Oh, July 14th.
My friends actually asked me if I wanted to do it with them.
Look out.
I don't know.
Could this be
a friendly competition?
Could this be friendly? Hell, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh,
what?
We can do it.
What?
So King's X plays King's X plays in Asheville, North Carolina on Thursday, July the 13th. They also play in Nashville, Tennessee, Saturday the 15th. We were maybe planning on getting a Nashville road trip 3-day thing together and going to see them Thursday night in Asheville, driving to Nashville Friday, doing Nashville all day, seeing King's X Saturday in Nashville, and then driving back on Sunday. But if we did 48-hour film festival, we could actually do King's X on Thursday night, come back home, and then do 48-hour film. We got the weekend open. Who's to say I won't take a Pro Tools rig with me and do your music for your film in Nashville? Speaking of working correspondence, I could take my Universal Audio Apollo, I could take my laptop, a couple of sample drives, and I could do the whole thing from a hotel room if I really wanted to. But I don't know, theoretically. So anyway, we'll see how that works out, because man, I got to reclaim the throne, son, because I don't like anybody else taking best music. And then, it's not cool to have someone else, what does it say? I'm going to call you remote
Hammered Dulcimer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. That's right. That was right. So hammered dulcimer. We had Hammered Dulcimer recorded in here and then the hammer dulcimer player had a little piece written, and he played it in major, except it was supposed to be a horror film. And when he recorded it, I said, can you play me a minor version of that? I said, so we can maybe start the film. We didn't know what the film was. This was Friday, literally like 10 minutes after we got the specs. I said, could you play me a minor version of that? And he was like, And he played a minor version of it. I was like, yeah, that's it. So he played me this thing, and we sampled it. I had him play to a click track, and we did it like right. He was standing right over here. And so what we did was we started the film with the major version of it. Before all the you-know-what hit the fan in the film, everything was nice and happy. And then, hey, is that Watoon? What up, dog? So we did that with a major sounding thing, and then I made him play it minor. So basically, when the film took a dramatic left turn, I could have the hammered dulcimer piece and a really super heavy guitar and drum track with it, to where if you're doing a chase scene through the woods or you're doing something like that. So we could do the creepy hammered dulcimer kind of thing, and then not creepy, but you could have it. You know how when you watch films and there'll be like the music is really organic. It's not real spaced out or technical or electronic. It's really organic, but it's almost really creepy anyway, like creepier because it's real. It's real organic instruments. That was kind of the way that one went. Anyway, yeah, I forgot about the hammered dulcimer. How can I forget?
Watoon's got a good question.
All right, Watoon's got a question.
It says, what up, boys? Quick question off topic. Is y'all's cast gear talk or anything guitar related? I'd love to see y'all do a cast of simple lead improv with the pentatonic scale. I need some inspiration to break my plateau.
Hey, that's a really
Not
good
a bad
question.
idea.
Basically, our format, our live stream is really steered by y'all. The first thing I do is I get on here and I just start updating everybody as to what I worked on for the week, because like I said again, I don't have every day to post about if I'm in here engineering and mixing. I mean, far be it for me that I'm going to walk out in the middle of a session where I should be sitting in front of my speakers monitoring everything and with my phone while people are playing. They're like, hey, let me snap a photo. And it's like, I do that. I'm just really bad about forgetting to do that. I forgot to do it, probably 10 times this week. So I've just tried to do this to catch everybody up on what's going on. So I start with that, but anything that you guys ask, we'll do it. I mean, not anything. I won't do a backflip off this table. I'm liable to hurt myself.
True.
Did you bring your car? If I do a backflip, as long as I got transportation to the hospital.
I thought you meant off the car.
Oh, yeah, I was one of those kids that I could do forward flips and 1.5s all day long off the low dive. I could not for the life of me do a backflip without starting to spin. No idea why. Don't know why.
I don't know.
Now I probably just can't do a backflip just from sheer, arthritis and age. Yeah. But, I'd give it a shot.
It'd be funny.
It would be extremely funny. It'd be extremely funny. I think we used to live in a place that actually had a pool. I think we did some flips off that. Your mom sat there horrified. I'm gonna break the children's necks and spines by letting them do flips into the pool. I was like, hey, you only live once, and if you don't get that flip right, it's gonna be a lot shorter than you expected. Come on, that was pretty good. Wait a minute, that's good. Wait a minute, that was great. That was great. Big dummy. I'm not a dummy, man. Come on. That was a good one. You can't call me a dummy on that. That was good. I thought that was great. That was a really, really funny dad joke. Okay. How do we get back to why does it? Oh, I'm so stupid. So, I am a big dummy. What was I talking about? Anyway, Emily Giroux collab with Brennan Fowler on this. All right. Sister Sister is a great song. Oh, yeah, Randy, I did a song called Sister Sister, I'm in Love with You because it was called the Sisterhood of the Witch. And I wrote a song called Sister Sister for that film. It's got to be on YouTube. Find a link to it. Find a link to it right quick for me, please, Abraham. Yep, to the movie. Randy, you got it. Maybe Randy Harris, who was the director of it, Emily, I miss you being in here and being my intern, but you know, you're a child's mother now, and that's way more important than being my intern. Because if I threw SpaghettiOs at you, you would probably take it a lot more personal than if your son throws SpaghettiOs at you. So that's what happens when you become a mama or a daddy. So, yeah, is it on there somewhere? Randy can maybe Randy can put a link in there if we can't find it, but we're going to try to find it. And Emily, collab with Brennan Fowler on this. I will collab with Brennan Fowler on anything. Let's do it. Anyway, shout out to Emily Giroux, one of my former interns, and she is such a great mom now. I see her son and her husband on Facebook, and I have looked at this kid grow up on Facebook. It's kind of crazy. Social media is kind of crazy to watch that, but she was such a good intern, and I will tell you straight up, Emily Giroux is the reason that I have my blue bottle microphone system. And I will never forget in a million years, I had my small, it's on YouTube, Sisterhood of the Witch, directed by Donna Beasley. Well, I can't say her name. I'm so bad, man. Auguglario. Auguglario? Tell me I got it right. Auguglario. Say that with me 5 times real fast. Auguglario. Donna Beasley Auguglario. Randy, tell me in percentage if I'm right on that. Anyway, so Emily Giroux is the only reason that I have my blue bottle microphone system. She was an intern with me, and she also simultaneously worked at Guitar Center. And I had a microphone. I have a microphone called a blue bottle rocket, and they have interchangeable capsules, and it's a little one. It's a little blue mic about that big. And she says to me, just as dry as a bone one day, you know that little microphone, that little blue microphone that you... Oh, I'm not even close. Dang. Okay. Not even close with Auguglario. Auguggliaro. We should have a future segment where I just try to say people's last names that are impossible to say. Oh, he calls her Donna Beasley. I would go even better than that. I'm just gonna call her Donna. Is that I think that's cool. I can do that, maybe. Okay, so what was I getting at? Oh, Emily Giroux. Yeah, so I bought that microphone because Emily says, you know that little blue mic that you have across the way? We got a really big one of those into the store yesterday, meaning someone sold them one as used. And I knew exactly what she was talking about, because if you've never seen my blue bottle microphone, which is actually sitting in a road case on the floor right there, the body of the microphone is probably this big. It's as big around as a master cylinder on a car. And it's got these capsules like that. So the whole length of the body of the mic is like that. No exaggeration. It's massive. It's the biggest mic I've ever seen in my entire life. Tube microphone, killer, and I would not... Oh, John says Aqua Velva. Donna Beasley Aqua Velva? I could get that. I could remember that more than I could. Auguggliaro. I'm reading it phonetically. I got really good at that because I had a project years ago where I had to edit Sudanese Bible stories in the language of Arabic, and I had a translator, and he was awesome. His name was Masood. I was like, dude, could I have the same front and last name, Williams? Anyway, so we got to get back to Watoon's. I know, right? He got your impossible. You're exactly right. So we got to get back to Watoon's question. So Watoon's question was, would we ever go outside the lines? What would we do for the cast? And he's talking about like a lesson kind of thing. I'd be down with that for like a pentatonic kind of deal. If you're watching now, let's see what we got up our sleeves. Does that mean we're getting to pedals? I mean, it's 5 minutes till So we're going to get to some pedals. We're not going to make it so long tonight, although we're almost at an hour. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I know you're hungry for some Chipotle because they stay open until 10. So... All right, what are you playing tonight, Abraham?
There we go.
I like that. What are you playing tonight?
Guitar-wise?
Guitar and amp-wise. Show
I've
everybody. Show everybody
Oh.
this killer guitar you have.
The Ibanez Jim Jr. As
Hey
if
now.
The Jim Sr. wasn't enough.
Hey now.
This was well before I had the floral Jim, which is kind of why this thing has sat on the shelf for a little bit.
You can't play
That's
but
okay.
one at a time, son.
That's
That's the
true.
way I learned it.
But this was my main guitar for a while, for a good bit between the time I bought this and the floral, and we had it nice and decked out. Lots of things.
Show them what you did to it.
Too much. We swapped out the pickups. I think these are all different Steve Vai signature pickups.
So the Jim is a Steve Vai signature guitar.
Yeah.
And this is it's called the Jim Jr., right? Because it's not really, I mean, they do it as a lower cost Jim.
It's really a great guitar.
But that guitar, I'm going to be straight up with you, it plays better than my not so lower cost Jim. And
Just a lower cost one.
yeah, it just goes to show you, if you just get two pieces of wood that kind of sing together, then
And I think swapping out the pickups was a big factor.
I like this bridge. I like whatever this bridge is. People get online and they really rail against this bridge. I think this tremolo is better than the Zero Edge 2 that I
hate
have.
the one that you have.
Thank you.
This is more like the one that I have on the floral.
Here's the dope, dummy.
I'll be hating on my
Because
guitar.
Here's the dope, dummy.
it doesn't sit down as much. It still kind of comes up.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it has more. It just has mass. It sustains. It has mass. I don't know what's going on with it, but it just plays better to me. It's a great playing guitar, and plus, you know, if you ordered DiMarzio pickups direct, you get to pick your color out. And so Abraham wanted a guitar. He said, "I want a guitar that I can deck out with stickers and not be afraid to customize it the way I want to." And
True.
so,
And I did.
and he did. So he's got
And
him
I did.
some Bones stickers on there, and all that stuff. But what are you playing through amp-wise?
So we've got. Is this really the? I guess this is my Lynch Mob patch that I love so dearly, just with the gain cranked down on it. Hold on. Oh yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay. But what amp is it?
It's just called Wicked Lead.
No. What amplifier?
I don't know.
It's the Kemper.
I did say that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I did say
I'm
that.
sorry, guys. See? Forgot Mitch Hull's name.
You dummy.
Oh my God, that was the funniest thing ever. Can I hit 4 frets at one time? Are you ready?
Wow.
That is Fred Sanford played in the shape of
was
give me like
good.
a C chord. Let's try that.
Give me his guitar, dummy.
Hey, all
Give me
right.
his guitar, dummy.
That's what I say.
Give me his guitar, dummy.
I will. I'm giving his guitar, you big dummy. Hold on.
Give me his guitar, dummy.
All right. So, do we have a pedal? And we'll get. I tell you what, Watoon. Hey man, we'll get our pedals, and then we'll get our first pedals up. Barris, what's happening, man? We'll get our first pedals up here, man, and then we'll you know,
We can do a little pentatonic jam.
we'll do a little fretboard wizardry.
I like
for you.
that.
I should ask Gales. Gales is the
My
master
God.
of the pentatonic. He will take that box and wear the living hell out of it, and I just look and go like, I can't tell what you're doing because it's backwards and upside down. And even if it was forwards, I still couldn't play like that. But I can't even rip him off, man. That's the worst part.
All right. So.
Oh, yeah, let's get a top down. What's your first pedal?
So. That's my clean tone. It's a little not so clean, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So, we've got the TC Electronic Dark Matter. I believe it's just a straight up distortion.
And let me just say thank you to, I just want to give a shout out to Mark from the band Carolina Pines. Came in and literally brought me this pedal and said, hey, man, I want you to have this and play it on the show. And I was like, have it? You know what they're saying right now? They're saying, Mark. Anyway, so, yeah, that was really cool. And so, so he brought the TC Electronics Dark Matter. Carry on. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure I gave Mark a shout out for giving us the pedal.
So, this is everything at noon, and it's got a voice switch on it. So this is with the voice switch down.
I like it. That's everything at noon?
Yeah, let's turn some knobs. Let's see. Gain, up.
That's
It's
incredible.
almost a little fuzzy.
Wow. What's the voice doing?
I have no idea. Let's find out. So we've got
Oh. A little darker. Is that up top? Is that flipped up top? Yeah, a little darker up top. I like it. Woo!
oh, gets loud.
Woo! My God. I like it. Howard Flacker, what's happening, my man? Long time. So hey, Dark Matter, TC Electronics, woo! I like it. I like it. All right, cool. Beautiful. Pedal number one,
There you go.
the Dark Matter from TC Electronics. Give it up, everybody, for the Dark Matter and my son Abraham Johnson on the guitar.
Ooh.
Ow! My first pedal. Time for my first pedal?
Oh yeah.
My first pedal is again from the fine people at Harby Pedals. Did not have time enough to tag them this morning in an Instagram post, but I just posted this afternoon on Instagram to tag anybody. It was so nice for the guys at Harby to join us on the cast. Oh, nice, testing out some pedals. Yeah. Harby Pedals basically sent me their 3 offerings that they have last probably a couple weeks ago. So super nice of them, and this is their pedal, and it is called the Centauri. Gee, I wonder what that is. So we'll get a top down on this so you can check it out. And if I can get it in the picture, you can see that this is a Clon Centaur replica. And if anybody knows the Clon, they know that everybody's doing a clone of them. I'll tell you first off, these Harby pedals are made like tanks, man. They're really nice and heavy. Their enamel on them is really killer. So we're going to play through this rascal right now. My clean tone is my Zion Telecaster through my Sobtech MiG 50 and my UA Ox. Let me get a camera angle on those. I think you can kind of see those. Yeah, there's my Ox and there's my Sobtech. This is going into the high input of the Sobtech with the volume, with the gain turned kind of down on it. So it's got a little bit of, you know, that's like a clean tone to me. Not clean. But. And then so let's go everything at noon and check out our Centauri. Are we ready? Woo! Man, the bottom end, holy cow. Hey! Hey! Yeah, now. All right, so that's incredible. Go back to clean. Right? Just make sure to get a link to the Harby pedal website so you guys can check these out. Woo, man, I really dig this pedal. So the trick to the Clon, it was an Overdrive, the Clon Centaur. The Clon Centaurs are $5,000-$6,000 now if you can find them. You can find them. They're just $5,000 or $6,000 now, and they were out in the '90s. I chose the Ibanez Tube King, which I really think is a better pedal sounding wise. My vibe. But so anyway, so this is the Harby option for the Clon Centaur, and it sounds killer. That's everything at noon. Let's go gain all the way up because I just like to go ahead and go there. Woo! It's pretty good, man. Dial the tone back a little bit. Yeah, that's crazy. But the trick to the Clon is this. You turn the drive almost all the way down and you turn the volume way up for some odd reason. That's what everybody likes about a Clon, is what you hear right there. You see what I mean? It just puts a little beef in the tone, so it doesn't really massively change. Hey, Eric Gale. Roll the volume knob back at that setting. Aha!
It was the really heavy one.
So that's, let me go top down so you can see that. Woo!
Now roll your volume knob back.
Roll mine back?
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah, that's great. This guitar has a lot of top end to it, so I tend to roll the tone off, but yeah, you're right. Come way back like that, and then go, like you can do like, that's pretty cool. I like that. Woo, it's nasty. There you go. That's right. Sorry, I didn't tune my guitar ahead of time because, I was lazy. Okay, so Harby, the Harby Centauri. Please go check out Harby pedals, guys, because I'm going to tell you, they're not expensive, but I can guarantee you they're not as much as a Klon, and not even remotely close. Maybe about, let's see, I'd have to do the math on it in my head. I'd say they are about 1/5 of 1% the cost of a Klon.
I don't know about that.
No? They're about 0.5% the cost of a Klon. No.
Oh,
I don't want to get the math wrong.
Never mind.
Yeah. So, Harby, Centauri, go check it out. And when you are here at Earthtones, the next time you play the guitar, please ask me to play through these Harby pedals because you will not be disappointed, and I'm not joking. They are killer, 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 killer. All killer, no filler. Abraham, what is your second pedal? Oh no, I'm sorry. We got the... Okay, so Watoon, are we ready? So, I'll show you my first pentatonic tip. Because I play in the pentatonic. I play in the box. I play in the box exclusively. So there we're in A. That's an A pentatonic. Watoon, let me know you're still watching. And that is with the Centauri. I'm in A. So one of the first things I ever learned to get outside of the box, if you can see it, I don't know if you can really see, I'll go over to this camera here, is that I picked up a little slidey kind of trick, and I use that all the time where you go... So also too, you can do the major resolve out of that. So if you're in the box, you see me do that all the time. And so if I'm in the box, the major resolve in the middle of the box on your G string, is that if I'm on the G here and I'm going. And so what I'll do is if I'm playing a lick there on the G, which is going to be on 5 and 7 on a G string, like you'll see me go for that. I reach for that like all the time. Like what I just did right there was sliding, but I was sliding up a fret. So you get that, right? You get your... And if you do the slide fast enough, it's not like you sit on it and go like... You don't sit too weird against the root note, but if you slide it and just slide it fast... And that's, Mr. Two Fingers over here playing. So that's one trick, is if you're sliding, is to go one fret outside. I read a bunch of stuff when I was a kid, people trying to give you tips about stuff, and I don't know who I was reading, if it was a Steve Vai thing. Can Abraham play an A blues rhythm and you play lead just like that? Thank you, helps tons. Yes, sir. Sure.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All for David Watoon. Here we go. All right. it's just going back and forth. And I'm sliding up. Ooh. Major. Resolve. All right. Yeah. Thank you. So, hey, thank you. My cousin Sissy's watching. Right on. So, yeah, so you saw all those, right? So if I'm playing... Because you're playing against it, and he's not committing to a major or a minor with the chord when he's sitting there, right? It's all just root fifth, right? Does that makes me realize I'm just trying to do too much? Yeah, man. I'm telling you, bro, I don't know but so many notes. But what I learned is if I take those notes that I know, and I know how to drive around those few, playing confidently beats the shit out of playing 10 times too much unconfidently. Or what I hate to do is I hate to learn a solo note for note and then play it and miss a note. You know what I mean? Like have a very melodic, here's the solo that everybody knows. And I'm standing there and I'm like, oh man, if I was just playing an A minor, I'd be fine. I could just go all over the place and not have to stop and wonder if I was playing the right note. And memorizing melodies is really hard to me. You know, I just have to, because I have to have an escape route to me. When I'm on stage playing, I have to have an escape route, and I have to know the key that I'm in. And a lot of melodies, when you play them, they're kind of changing keys or they're changing modes as they go along, but everybody just knows that melody, if it's a cover song or something like that. So knowing what key or what area you're playing in. And I'll give you one more pentatonic tip with tune. If you're playing in the box in A, right there, right? So that's another one too, man. If you're playing, if you hammer the bottom part of the box, so on 5th fret on the A string, which is the lower side of your box. You're gonna go, if you're going your box E to E, you're going 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. So if you bar on 5, you pull those old, kind of Motown licks or blues licks. Then what I like to do is I'll bar on 5 on the G and the D like that and go. Right? So you can take everything, all those notes are in the box. It's just how you're actually presenting them. So playing 2 strings at a time. I'm just finger picking that. So I'm only hitting those 2 strings at a time instead of everything, you know. It's got a Hendrix kind of thing to it, you know. So, and that all has to do with tone too. You can bring it down. Anyway, so those are a couple of my pentatonic tricks. And I will always come out of the top of this scale. And always remember, if you're playing an A minor, that your C major scale is relative. So if you go to C here, like I always looked at a major scale like this when I was a kid. So that means that 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7 on the A and the D is relative to your box, to your A minor box, right? So you can kind of connect your major minor boxes really quick and get around. And I kind of use those all the time, man. If I don't have too many places I can go, but you know, I do that. So I taught that stuff to Abraham when he was coming up. He sits here and just plays circles around me while I'm talking.
I hear what.
Light bulb moment. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Bengineer.
Bengineer.
Here, wait.
Whitney Thor has started something.
Let me add on to the relative major.
You add on. Abraham is going to add on, all right? Here we go.
So just so you don't, I kind of figured this out by accident, kind of.
Abraham takes theory in high
always
school. I never
happens.
took theory, so hallelujah.
Oh, it wasn't even a
amen.
matter of that. It was just the matter of keeping it it's like modifying the box.
Okay.
That's what I like to do. Because even with like the blues scale, it's like a modified. It's just modifying the box.
Yes.
So you can modify the box to hit some of those major notes. Like instead of going, you can go.
There you go.
I like to go down to the A flat leading tone, almost like the harmonic minor, but regardless.
Yeah, now.
And then the lick I stole from Eric. That's like that's really modifying the box.
There are advantages to working with high-profile guitar players. Is that your son gets to get free lessons by watching them play all the
That's
time.
like a mix of modifying the box and using that harmonic minor kind of leading tone. Is you start on that on the fifth of the root,
Okay.
and then you go to the A flat, and then that major note.
Yeah, and what I was leading him along with sounds like new Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, right?
Is that sliding down on the G on the 4th fret? Yeah. So, wait. Yeah. So if you're in A, then on the G you're playing the 5 and the 7, but you can go down to the 4th fret. Because that's the 7th scale degree of the major.
Yeah. I'll believe you. There you go.
It's just that's kind of become my go-to instead of just
Where do
the
you
blues.
start? If somebody goes, Abraham, we're going to improv an A, what's the first note that you reach for?
I really like.
Seriously, if you're okay, so you're right there.
Just one of those bends and then go to the root.
I've always read and I've seen other players talk about all sorts of stuff about where to start. Like if you always start in the same home base, and I mean I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of it because I'll show you exactly where I start every single time, and I do not care if I've played the same club 4 nights in a row and the same audience is there. I will start playing in the same place every single night because it's comfortable to me. And I'll go to other places, but I have to start. And there are guys that will start. They can tell you every A on the fretboard. I can't do that. I can't go like A. Like if I sat down for a couple of hours, I'm sure I could show it all to you, but it would just go out of my head. I know where my comfort zones are. So if that's your comfort zone, I always start if I'm in A. If somebody says, hey, we're going to play something in A, I'll go just like this. Right? So I will reach for that G and that D instead of, I used to always start on A. Like when you learn scales, you know, when you learn scales, the first thing you want to start on is the first note of the scale that you've learned every time. So I will do that, but now I'll go ahead and do that, you know, so. It really is sort of advanced music theory to me too. But yeah, so I'll reach there, and so I will say, if you have comfort zones, and I need to be aware of this myself, I need to get out of them, you know. And so what I'll do is then I'll start on the opposite end. Like if I would have started there, you know, then I'll go, okay, where's the top of my scale? Where's the top of the box?
That's another thing is when you play in the box, it's getting out of the top of the box.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Abraham's getting at is basically if you pick a couple of, I'll just call them extension notes, if you're going to go, okay, we're going to play in the box, you know. And so here's for our first string, I know I can get down 2 frets below that, right, on the first string. And I know that I can also take this shape that's there, right? Because that's the top note of the box, and I can go up 2 frets from that. So I'll memorize places where I know I can get around, and then you go like, okay, if I know I've got this box, then it becomes about what your note choices are and note combinations in that thing, and that's where it's all just infinite.
Oh, and there's also like getting out of it. There's ways to do it, and like I think what we both do is we both want to go to the relative major and just connect it up to the next.
You want to get up there. And my thing is technically knowing every note in between it. I don't necessarily know that.
Well, not even just that. It just becomes that's the only way you get up there.
Yes.
And it's like you get stuck in that one way, and it's like all of this surrounding area, I just focus on this kind of path.
Yes.
You just go.
Yeah.
Like if I told you we're playing in A, but I want you to play like in this position right here. Like
right?
Horizontally.
Okay.
You.
Oh, okay. All right.
You
So
see what
here.
I'm getting at?
All right. So I'm playing right there. So if you look at it, you're down here. If you're in A, in a different position, your box is here, right? If you go down here and you start from the open A string, whoops. Wait. J. You're just playing the same notes, you're just playing them on different strings. So then we go up an octave. You say, wow, what great information. I know all these notes. But I just sound so mechanical. You guys have showed so much. Can't thank you enough. Brother, come on, man. No sweats. All right, so, and then you just take that box, Watoon, and you just move it all around. So
See,
if we
but that's another thing. It just becomes playing the shape.
It does become
You
playing
know?
the shape, and then you know it. Like when he was just playing that, and I came up here, he said he wanted me to play in this area, and I know that that's in A. I don't know. I'm not looking. I know that when I reach a certain point on the guitar, that there are notes that I know I'm going to reach, and I just hear them. I hear where they're going, and a lot of that, I'll tell you straight up, I learned a lot of my theory, not necessarily theory, but my ear from sitting in a club. Clay Howard and I used to play an acoustic gig every single Friday night at Brew Balls in Burlington, North Carolina, and it was awesome. But the best part about that gig was that it became like a job. And it was our job. I mean, it was our jobs, right? I would do this, and I would play gigs, but I didn't do as much of this as I do now. So gigs were really supplemental. So we would go play those gigs, and I would play a lot of the same charts. And they're just cover song charts, most of them. And you would just sit there, and I would play acoustic guitar, and I would solo. And I would know by playing these songs 1,000 times, literally probably 1,000 times, that I'm reading the chart, which is basically just chord charts, and I'm playing it, and I'm hearing, okay, this is Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams, and I'm playing the chord progression, and I hear where the chord progression's going. I don't just memorize where it is on the guitar. I literally hear it, and if I get lost, I know by my musical knowledge and by my ear that, that I can hear however many steps above the chord it needs to go to, and I realize what's coming, whether I'm looking at it or not, or whether I know the song. And it helped me with my lead work a lot, because that was the same thing. I could get into a situation playing and not necessarily know what was coming, but I knew, as long as I knew the chord progression of the song, where I needed to go, and I could hear the next notes coming up. So that's just experience of playing out and having the luxury to play some of the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and not so much worry about the crowd or anything like that. It's just playing for people and making sure I played my guitar properly. All right. Do you want to play another pedal, or are you good for tonight?
I said let's jam it out.
You want to jam it out? All right, guys. I'm sorry we only got to one guitar pedal a piece. Where's that? Oh, where that root resolve was. The root resolve, the major resolve from earlier. All right, so check it out. The major resolve, if you're in the box, it's like I know that's wrong. So it's like Funk 49, right? So you go. So what you do is, if you're playing in the box there, and what I do is I'll go resolve and then reach down. It's a little dirty. Hold on. So if I go, so you can hear that I reach down. Once I make the resolve, I reach down and I hit the root, just to kind of go like, ha ha ha, like that's what I really, that's it. that's what I really intentionally meant to do, you know. And I hear that's one of those things I was talking about. I hear that resolve because it's always a fret off from where you're at in the minor, and you can bend it up, you know. Like I know where it is. You know, I can bend it up there. I can come up. Plus, you can go if I come down. Let me turn that drive down on this thing some. There's another one. It's the same. It's the octave, but it's down. And that's going to be 4th fret because it goes from C, which is relative, but the major, to C sharp. Anyway, so that's your major resolve.
Sam's got a good question. It says, how come a lot of solo riffs stay on the higher note strings? Personally, I like the lower tone strings and tones. I think they resonate more with my ears and inner being. I like that question.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is that I would rather play in the lower thing, to me.
Yeah, I like kind of the middle, like the little happy medium. That area. But I think the matter of why are solos higher, I think it's just punching out.
Cut through the band.
Through. Yeah.
It's got to cut through the band. That's the.
Because play like A blues.
Like A blues? All right.
Just what we've been doing. A little faster.
Faster? All right.
Just like, there you go.
All right. Thank you, Watoon.
So that doesn't like cut through as much. It kind of gets muddy with the rhythm guitar.
It's a lot of the same notes that are in the chord that I'm playing.
In the same octave register.
Yes, Starbucks. I'll see you there, Watoon. Yeah, man. Hit me.
Yeah.
Hit me.
But
let me know where you think this came from. Starbucks, Quaker Village, courtesy of Abraham.
Play that same A blues thing.
So that cuts.
It's a lot more clear.
Yep. Cuts through, and it'll cut through that mix like that.
Yep.
So, all right, well, it looks like we just lost a camera battery, but instead of changing it out, I think we're about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank everybody for engaging so much this week. We really appreciate it, and we just try to refine it a little bit each week. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you watching, whether you stayed on the whole time or you didn't. It's a long time to commit, and I'm competing with Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. So, I mean, you know, I'm kind of doing myself a disservice. Anyway, so next Wednesday. Hopefully. Keep it going. Yeah, let me look at my phone. Let me see what we got here. No. Oh, man. I got Charlie Hunter recording next Wednesday, but you know what? I might just pull this off. And if so, we'll see you. All right? And keep an eye on all of our socials. Keep an eye on Instagram. Keep an eye on all the Facebook stuff. And please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications of when we will be doing this again. Again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for tuning in and just letting us act silly. Thank you guys. Be good.